Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining me today on Vicious Whispers with Mark Tullius. Today is episode 24, and we are on chapter 17 of the Brightside audiobook. Pretty exciting. We're almost done. Getting to the best part. I believe there's only 2 more chapters after this, so maybe about an hour left after this one. We'll get to the story a little bit later. First, a rundown on what's been happening. Not a whole lot. Still struggling with cannabis and caffeine addiction. I don't know if I should say addiction. Yeah, I guess I should, because that's what it is. But I've been, instead of trying to go cold turkey like I usually do, I've just been trying to moderate it. I've been trying to cut down a little bit. And that's been going well. I realize I don't want to give up either one because I get so much from them. With the cannabis, that's when I have my... the other morning I did it, like at 9 o'clock, dropped off the kids. I knew I had 3 or 4 hours to do just my shit. I was going to work on my writing. I didn't have any responsibility. So I was like, okay, go and smoke. Within 10 minutes, I was already doing so much self-reflection. I wrote a really nice letter to my wife, explaining everything, all my feelings, good stuff. Got a lot of other great shit done. And then I finished the whole chapter. I was completely able to see a chapter. I was able to visualize it, get it all down on paper, and so that was awesome. And maybe I would have the same kinds of realizations and breakthroughs and be able to write if I just simply did breathing exercises on its own without smoking. But since it helps so much, why not? And I do believe it's a form of medicine. So as long as I'm not abusing it, as long as I'm getting my shit done, as long as I'm not being irresponsible, I will continue to use it. And I try to use it in safe ways like vaporizer or edibles, shit like that. So that way I'm not dealing with any of the negative consequences. Although there may be some. I've weighed those too, and I realize I think it's helped my overall life. I don't know if I'd still be functioning if I had been smoking for the last 30 plus years. One of the really cool things that happened last week was I went and trained jiu-jitsu with my wife. It was like a date night. Thursday night at the youth center, there's an open mat. That's the 10th Planet Youth Center in Whittier. They also have an adults program. I'm usually not able to go to it because my body sucks. And because the kids have to be put to sleep and all that kind of stuff. So it's at night. That's when I'm doing family stuff. So I'm usually not able to make it. But my wife and I decided we wanted to go train. She's been going to 10th Planet Pasadena. They have some awesome instruction there. She comes back with some great info for me. But we never have a chance to go over it. So on open mat, it was cool. I saw all kinds of guys that old friends, made some new friends. But the first half hour, it was just her and I rolling. So I was able to pick up some stuff from her. She was able to show me some stuff. And then she learned a little bit from me too. So that was cool. Meeting new friends was cool. I realized she was making fun of me with a friend. And it was just all good natured because I met another purple belt. He trained a long time ago with Eddie Bravo, but he'd been out for a while, and then we just started talking. We had some awesome rolls, and next thing you know, I have a good friend. And then she was just laughing about it, saying that I don't get out very much, and so she needs to let me socialize. So I think Thursday night will be our new thing, our new date night, where we get to go train together and then hang out, play around with other people. So that's cool. We're going to keep on doing that. We're actually going to go there again tonight. So that will be fun. As far as writing, Beyond Brightside is still kicking ass. I'm enjoying it. It is super violent. Imagine like a Kill Bill type book. It gets pretty graphic. I just finished up my last chapter. This chapter, I think I'm on chapter 24 now. A little bit over 2/3 of the way. Once I get through this draft, which I'm hoping will be done in another 10 weeks, I'm giving myself about a week per chapter, which isn't the fastest, but I'm good with that. Compared, like with everything else that I have going on, having to do marketing, family, all this other shit, doing 1 chapter a week on a book, that's good for me. Then as soon as it's all done, I'll have a solid probably 65,000 words. Then I'll go another pass, fill it out a little bit more. I'll know the whole story then. And then that'll probably only take maybe a month or so. And then it'll be the rewriting process, another month or 2, and giving it to an editor. So that book will definitely be out in 2020. I was hoping maybe by the end of this year, but I don't think that's realistic. One thing that might happen by the end of this year is another short story collection, which is more suspense and crime type stories, thriller type stories, and a break from horror. It might have some horror mixed in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I'm getting those stories back from my editor. So far, all of them, let's see, I think there's, I don't know, maybe let's say there's 25. Out of the 20 or so I've gotten back, I'd say 15 are solid. 5 need to be reworked, but I already have a good idea on those, so those won't take that long. So I'm hoping that will be out by the end of the year. But next thing coming up is Trying Not to Die in Brightside. The next couple of weeks, we're going to start releasing that chapter by chapter. I'm not going to release the book until the complete audiobook has been put out. We're going to be putting that out on SoundCloud, YouTube. We'll have a big contest to go with it. And that's the reason why we're not going to release the book until after this is done, because in the contest, you have to tell me, you have to choose what you're going to do. Every couple pages, there's a choice. I think there's 20 different points where a choice has to be made, and then the winner, who will be the person that dies the fewest amount of times. So I still need to figure out how we're going to run that contest, where it's going to be, what all the prizes are, but it should be pretty good prizes. I think it's probably over $1,000 in prizes and stuff. So it'll be worth paying attention to that. If you guys are on SoundCloud, go check out Mark Tullius. Heard he's fucking pretty awesome. No. But I am putting everything up there. I'm putting the Brightside audiobook up there. So if you don't want to have to listen to me before you hear these chapters, you can just get on there. I think I've already put up the first 7, and then a new one comes up every couple days. And I'm doing the same thing with the short stories. So that way all my stuff is free. You don't have to buy the audiobook. You can just go to SoundCloud and check it out. I think right now I have about 7 or 8 short stories up from Twisted Reunion and Somber Stroll, both horror. And so those would be up every couple days. I'll put up a new one as long as I remember to do it. But I do have a note in my notebook saying, hey, SoundCloud. So that way I'll spend a couple minutes, maybe 10 minutes each day, putting up a couple new ones. Yeah, so we got that going on. The shirts for Try Not to Die and Ain't No Messiah. Those are, I'm dealing with the printer right now to see what they can do with it. I was really hoping to get the all-over sublimation print, but they're fucking expensive to do. And I don't know how many people want to spend like $35-$40 on a shirt. So I'm checking out another printer, seeing the different options, and I'm hoping I will have those ready in a couple weeks so I can wear that to the LA Times Festival of Books. That's April 13th and 14th, USC. I will be at booth 910. I'm excited about that. My buddy Jeff Campbell, who did the artwork for Ain't No Messiah and the commercial and is writing Trying to Die at Satan's Island with me, he's going to be there with me, so that'll be fun. We'll hang out. So if you're in the LA area, be sure to stop by. What else is happening? Oh, I did a really cool podcast last week for Fighters Planet podcast. To tell the truth, I was a bit intimidated about being on because I haven't thought about MMA in a while. I really don't watch it. I don't follow the headlines very often. I realized I don't care. Like, I do enjoy watching a fight, but now I'm very cognizant of the damage these guys are taking. So especially if I know them, it's hard to watch guys get their ass fucking messed up. I know they're, well, I don't know for sure that they're going to have injuries or problems or brain problems, but there's a good chance of it. So unlike the race car fan who's just wishing for a fucking crash and wants to see blood and everything else, I just don't. And that's not entirely true. Like, I'm still generally rooting for someone, and I want to see the other guy get knocked out. So it's I'm conflicted, and I do realize that when I watch those kinds of things, I get more amped up. I don't know. It definitely feeds a different side of me. I need to be careful of that side of me. I'm trying to become more peaceful and everything else. That's why I do yoga so often. In fact, this week I've hit 3 days this week. Tomorrow will be 4. And so if I hit 3 to 4 days of yoga, I was like, pretty peaceful. It really helps starting the day off that way. It does cut into how much time I have to write, but like I said before, I do believe my writing is better for it. My overall quality of life is better for it. And so it just makes sense to do it. Plus, I'm learning some fucking pretty cool new tricks. And my balance is getting a lot better. And that's the nice thing about going more frequently. That's something you'll see with jiu-jitsu. Like if you're only going once or twice a week, your improvements are gonna be fucking pretty slow. But if you're going more often, you're gonna have quicker gains. It's gonna stick a lot better, and that's what I'm starting to realize now with the yoga. So definitely enjoying that practice. I'm going to keep it up. I totally forgot. I was so I was a little intimidated. I was like, fuck. If they ask me any questions about current fights or who the champ is or whatever else, I was like, I don't know. I just haven't been that kind of MMA fan. I have tons of friends who are fighters. I want them to succeed. I want them to do well. I think fighting is awesome, but it's just I don't have time for it. I don't watch a lot of TV at all. And what TV I do watch, I try to keep pretty light, or something my wife wants to watch, or something like that. So I don't know. Fighting just not it. But when I went, it was Walter Salcido and Alex Solano. He's a writer for LA Times, MMA. And so they were awesome, made me feel so welcome. And then we just had a really cool talk about my experiences with Unlocking the Cage. If you guys don't know about that, that's when I went around the country, 23 different states, 100 different gyms, and I interviewed 340 fighters. And that was with me going in with absolutely no experience interviewing anyone. I was very hesitant to even start the project, and then I spent the next 3.5 years doing it. And it was absolutely the best thing in the world for me. Helped bring me out of my shell. It brought me back into jiu-jitsu, brought jiu-jitsu to my family and our community because we opened up the youth center. So it's pretty awesome. So if you do want to hear that, I would talk a lot about that. That is on Fighters Planet podcast number 38. That's out now on Spotify and probably other places. I don't know. Whoops, that was loud. So check that out. Fighters Planet podcast number 38 to hear all about MMA and me get my ass kicked. Fun stuff. I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. I don't got a whole lot going on, but I do need to pick up my son from school, and then I do need to take him either to the park or to yoga. He's really enjoying the class at Downey Yoga. They have a kids class at 3:30, so even though it's a drive, I'll offer to take him. Maybe he'll want to go. We'll see. Lots of times after school, he just wants to go to the park and run around and play and see if any of his friends were there. So I will leave that to him. But that's coming up, so I'm going to go do that and leave you with chapter 17 of Brightside. So this is narrated by T. Quillen. He's narrated a bunch of my stuff and will narrate a bunch more in the future. Give it a listen. If you haven't listened to the other episodes, just go back, the other chapters. And you could also buy the audiobook on Audible, Amazon, iTunes, pretty much anywhere. Or get the first 7 chapters free right now on SoundCloud. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Hope you guys are enjoying this story. This is the good part. Pretty exciting. Hold on tight. I think some motherfuckers are about to die. Maybe. I don't know. Not totally sure, but probably. All right, guys, thanks so much for listening. Join me again next week for chapter 18. All right, later.
Chapter 17. I promised Wayne I'd talk to Sharon, but there's no point telling her shit. If I do and she agrees, there isn't a damn difference. But if she freaks, like I know she will, then I'm only putting Danny in more danger. Wayne's going to be there whether I talk to Sharon or not, and his big ass isn't going to climb down a rope by himself. And he's going to want in on that getaway vehicle, whatever that might be. I'm such an idiot for not asking Sharon for more details. I was too caught up in arguing about Sarah and Danny being sent to the cabin and my father turning me in. Still, I have to call her. Sarah and Danny have to be included in the getaway. I take out the cell phone, the one Sharon said couldn't be traced. There a problem? Those are the first words out of Sharon's mouth. I almost tell her that there are more problems than she can handle. Just one, I say. Sarah and Danny are both coming. Absolutely not. Then I'm not firing a fucking shot, and that helicopter will be sitting right outside the mine shaft. You can kiss your little plan goodbye. Sharon's breathing. And while I can't hear her thoughts, I know that damn mantra is on full blast in her head. It's your call, I say, but I'm not doing shit until I know they're in. Sharon's teeth click a few times. She says, "Fine." "Yeah? I have your word?" As if her word means anything. "Yes, but if they get caught on the way to the cave, or if they're 1 second late, we're not waiting." "Okay." "And Joe?" "What?" "If you fail, the deal's off." "Yeah." I start to ask how we're getting off this mountain, if we actually pull this off, but Sharon's already hung up. I know Sharon has something waiting for us when we get out, a bus or a car or even a plane. She told me there were others in the real world, ones yet to be discovered, willing to help us. Unlike Danny, Sarah, and me, there were a lot of thought thieves rolling in cash. They broke into banks, already knowing the security codes. They bought stocks on silent information. They took down casinos one table at a time, knowing exactly what the dealer or other players were holding. Unless they were too stupid or goddamn greedy. There were probably hundreds, even thousands, still on the outside. It makes me wonder how many thought thieves are still sitting in power. The president himself only signed the law after the panic had gotten out of control. I like the idea of the commander-in-chief being one of us. It would explain his second term, how frequently he fires his top officials. I imagine the White House is filled with people looking to take him down, but he'd know every move before they could make a grab at his job. Even Carl Pepper, the man who supposedly saved the president's life, never seemed to be fully responsible for stopping the assassination. When they played the scene on the news, the president definitely ducked before Carl clobbered the gunman. Carl was one of the first sent to Brightside, but no one has seen or heard from him since. He's either dead or locked up so tight he's wishing he were. I can't imagine what Carl must be going through. He was a hero for a week, then a villain for life. I'm sure there's not a second of the day he doesn't wish he would have let the gunman fire the shot. The president he saved banished him for being a traitor, and I can't fathom how that must feel. Even though my own father turned me in, at least he tried to offer me a way out. Carl is just fucked. Same as all the other Brightsiders we'll leave behind. I need to stop thinking about this pointless crap. Who cares what Carl is thinking, or if the president is a thought thief? Neither is going to help me one bit. I have a job to do, and I need to shut off my head. I know I'm doing it to distract myself, to keep from thinking about the choppers, guns, spinning, and firing 50 rounds into my chest before I can even take aim. But if I can't control my thoughts, I'll for sure end up dead. Sarah's wearing a stocking cap, parka, and these huge sunglasses Rachel left at my place on day 39. I'm wearing my puffy jacket, wishing I had a trench coat. The shotgun is practically sticking out of the bottom of my pants, and it's making me walk like someone who's trying to hide a gun. There's an elastic drawstring at the bottom of the jacket. I pull it tight to keep the Mossberg in place. But I keep picturing it sliding down and blowing off my leg. Sarah asks if I have a duffel bag or something. Says this just looks stupid. I run to the closet and have to pull Rachel forward to slide out the bag. It's covered in blood, which is only going to draw more attention. I rummage through the closet, through all of Dad's boxes, when I find a backpack. It's too small to hide the Mossberg, but it's better than keeping it in my pants. So I field strip the gun. Not all of it, just break it down so it'll fit. Assembling it is going to take more time I don't know if I'll have. But it's the best option I've got. The walk to the office is freezing because the sun is about to set. I'm wearing headphones, but my iPod is turned off. I'm just silently talking to Sarah as we move down the street. Most people are at work or locked away in their apartments. Wayne has everyone on edge. The building where I work has a small crowd out front, but I don't see any boots. Neither Sarah nor I know how many people heard she's being sent to the cabin, but we can't take any chances. I have to go in alone. We keep our distance and switch up the plan. It's better this way, because Sarah needs to draw the helicopter to me. She slips off through the square. I watch her and have the fear this might be the last time I ever see her. I want to chase her down, tell her how sorry I am she got pulled into this. But again, it's not going to help me do what I have to do. I flick on my iPod, crank it as loud as it can go before entering the building. There are a few people getting into the elevator, so I take the east stairs. The shotgun pieces clang around in my backpack as I climb. Luckily, no one is in the stairwell, though I sort of wish there were. I want someone to catch me, to make me go back to my apartment. The cabin doesn't seem like such an awful outcome right now. My hand goes to the door handle, but I can't open it. It's not locked. I'm just freaking out. I keep thinking about how I almost plummeted off the side. Sarah had to pull me up to save my life. I'm leaning against the wall and I can feel the sweat soaking through my clothes, which doesn't make me feel all that bad because it's fucking hot in here in the stairwell. I decide to put the shotgun together. If the helicopter flies over while I'm assembling it, they'll kill me. Sarah also needs time to get to the boots. She's supposed to say Wayne is in this building. I told her to keep her distance, let others spread the word. But I know she's not going to risk Danny to save herself. I just hope they don't recognize her before they head this way. The barrel clicks, and I pull out the shells. Slide in 2. I have another dozen in the backpack, but I'll never get the chance to reload. It's one shot. The Mossberg is in my hands, and I keep thinking about Rachel. If someone were to see me, I don't know what I'd do. I guess I'd have to shoot, but that's only going to alert the boots, the helicopter, and the gunner. I suddenly realize this plan's already fucked. Sarah's going to tell them Wayne's here, meaning they'll already be looking to kill him, meaning as soon as they see I'm armed, I'm dead. I'm starting to think this really is all a setup. Melvin could get a hell of a lot closer to the helicopter than me, but Sharon said I was the only one for the job. They're probably already at the cave escaping, while I'm up here like an idiot holding a shotgun that will draw all the attention. I'm hating my father right now for trusting that lying bitch, for giving me the shotgun instead of a rifle, which I could fire from cover instead of standing right out in the open, making it so easy to take me out. Plus, I don't even have an escape plan. The helicopter will definitely beat the boots here, but it won't be long before they secure the building. At least Sarah's not with me. Danny either. They might still have a chance. This is what I'm telling myself as I hear the distant thwump of the chopper getting louder and louder. I don't even have to put my ear to the door to know it's almost here. Sarah's supposed to meet me at the pond. I know she won't wait forever. I told her she can't be late to the cave. It's Danny who's important. I just hope she doesn't hold out too long. Sharon won't hesitate to leave her and Danny behind. I wonder what's going to happen with Wayne. When Sharon sees him, she's going to shit herself. I wish I could be there to see her face. I just hope Wayne doesn't get Danny killed. My hand is on the door handle, and my heart feels like it's the size of my head. The Mossberg at my side, my finger just above the trigger. Everything's tunneling. I can't breathe. It sounds like the helicopter is circling. I need to time this right. Wait until it's on the other side of the building before coming out. Voices fill the stairwell, but they're not coming up. Everyone's fleeing, meaning the boots are probably already here. They'll sweep every floor. I've run out of time. The chopper is as loud as ever. I wait for a couple of seconds until it's a little quieter, hoping I can make it to the wall next to the air conditioners before the gunner sees me. My hand presses down, the click of the door. At least this will be quick. I throw open the door and I'm practically blind from the sun. I stayed too long in the stairwell and my eyes can't adjust. The chopper's coming around and my finger goes to the trigger. It's so loud and bright. I press my back against the wall, hold the shotgun to my chest. I'm closing my eyes, picturing Lily and Rachel and my parents. Dad's telling me I can't be afraid to pull the trigger. But suddenly I realize that fear might be my only way out of this. The chopper is less than 2 seconds from seeing me with this shotgun. There's no way I can pull this off. Not like this. So I drop the gun, kick it so it's under the metal folding chair, the one I used to salute the flag and sing like a goddamn lunatic. That's exactly what I have to look like. A man who's lost his mind. I take off running, waving my arms, screaming at the top of my lungs. "He's in the stairwell! Wayne King is coming down!" The gunner's hands are wrapped around steel, ready to open fire. I have no idea if he can understand a word I'm saying. But I just keep screaming that Wayne's heading down the stairs and start pointing over the edge. I'm right up against it, looking over, seeing the ground. But somehow, with all the adrenaline, I'm not afraid. I'm just screaming, "Down! Down!" The gunner must understand enough, because he's saying something to the pilot, who starts circling around to the front of the building. He's descending, the rotor now even with the ledge. They're looking in the windows, looking for Wayne. I turn back to the wall, where the shotgun is, and take off running. I try to pick it up, but my hand smacks against the folding chair. The chopper sounds like it's starting to pull away to get a better view. I flip over the chair, grab the gun, and run back to the ledge. The crowd down below is staring up at the chopper. I see them through the spinning blades, moving so fast it's just this translucent swirl. I tell them to fucking move even though they can't hear me. I raise the barrel and aim it right at the center of the blades. 1 shot. That's all I get. I hold my breath, just like Dad taught me. One eye closed, shoulder relaxed, arm steady. Someone down below sees what I'm about to do and screams something. The crowd looks up, and I'm waving my hands to tell them to get the fuck away from there. The pilot must see them, because the chopper begins to rise. I don't have a choice. The gunner is going to have me in his sights any second. My finger curls around the trigger, just like Rachel's and Grandpa's before everything went dark. The blast is louder than the rotor, and the kickback practically separates my shoulder, searing pain shooting down my arm. But I don't move. I just watch the buckshot spark off the blades, which slow down to the point I can see all 4. Then the chopper begins to tilt. The pilot's trying to pull up or set it down, I can't tell. I just see the crowd running, and the blades grinding and carving into the street. Sparks and metal spray into the air and sidewalk. The fire isn't instantaneous, but it doesn't take long before the entire helicopter explodes. 2 women are thrown back. A guy is holding his face, obviously burned and ripped up by the shards of metal. The gun is still in my hands as I back up, nearly trip. I stare into the sun as the crackling sounds mingle with screams. What the hell have I done? The door closes behind me as I enter the stairwell. I'm against the wall and shaking. The backpack is on the floor, and I just stare at it, knowing I need to break down the shotgun, but I hear voices coming up from the first floor. The boots are here, and I have nowhere to run. They're going to open fire. My fingers fumble for the shells, but I can't get a grip. It's like they're covered in oil. I look over the side. Someone is definitely coming. A 7-floor climb, and it's all over. I see the next level down, the door that leads to my office. I grab the pack and race down the stairs. The voices are getting closer. I stay against the wall. My foot misses a step and I nearly fall, my ass almost hitting the stairs, but I keep moving, flinging myself toward the door. My hand finds the handle and I quickly slip in, expecting to see Carlos and Alex and all my coworkers ready to tackle me, but the floor is empty, everyone evacuated. My office is right there, and I think about hiding, crawling under my desk, curling into a ball, curling up so tight that I wake up and find myself back on the couch with Michelle and Lily, the TV still on Letterman, and my ears fine. No flashbang, no gunshots into Lily's ribs. All of it just a terrible dream. But hiding in my office isn't going to keep me alive. I need to get to the cave to find Danny and Sarah. If Wayne's holding Danny and Sharon refuses to let them join her, Sharon won't hesitate. She'll tell Melvin to take them both out. I'm sure by now they have guns. I have to keep moving. When I get to the elevators, I see the red numbers rising. If the doors open, I might get off a shot, but it stops one floor down. My lungs start working. I lean against the wall, trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to get out of here. I can see Carlos's office. Think about just climbing out the window. One less floor than Paul fell, maybe I'd just break an ankle. Then I hear the stairwell open. Whispers. They're checking offices, looking for Wayne, for me. My finger goes to the trigger, but I remember I didn't load it. I'm digging around in the backpack. An office door opens. A voice says, "Clear." I'm picturing the floor plan. There are only 3 offices between the stairwell and the elevators. A different voice, another, "Clear." I finally get a shell in my hand. I'm sliding it in, trying to click the barrel closed as quietly as possible. Then a voice whispers, "Joe." I turn, ready to fire, when I see Wendell peering out from the bathroom. He's waving me in with that big, meaty paw. He seems friendly, more friendly than whoever is searching our offices, so I step towards him. I'm 10 feet from the bathroom. I hear bootsteps, turn around and back into the bathroom so I can still take a shot if they come around the corner. Wendell shuts the door without making a sound, holding the handle so there isn't a click. Then his fat finger presses to his lips, as if I need to be reminded to stay quiet. The whispers are at the elevator. I can hear them through the door. I push Wendell back and put my ear against the wood and listen. They must be giving hand signals. It's quiet, but I know they're coming. I look around the bathroom. The stalls aren't going to keep me hidden for more than a few seconds. They'll just kick in the door. A walkie-talkie goes off. A voice tells them someone is on the roof. Bootsteps running, fading until I hear the faint sound of the stairwell door slamming shut. Wendell exhales. Thinks we're safe, but I know we're not. I only heard one set of boots running. There were definitely 2 whispers. I silently tell Wendell to get back against the wall. I press myself against the sink. The small puddle of water on the counter seeps into my pants. The gun's aimed at the door. I see the handle slowly turn. Sweat drips into my eyes, but I'm trying not to blink. The door begins to open. I see the barrel of the revolver, the eyes of the newbie, the boot that was guarding Robert's door so no one could see him swinging from the ceiling, his dick still hard. The newbie enters. He's shaking, staring down the Mossberg. He's telling me to drop it, but I'm not moving. Wendell's against the wall. The newbie doesn't see him. He just keeps telling me to put the gun down. His voice trembles. His finger tight against the trigger. I know he's going to fire, whether he wants to or not. I stay real still, knowing even a twitch will get him to take the shot. "Okay," I tell him. "I'm putting the gun down." Yeah, that's good." I bend forward, gently placing the shotgun on the wet floor. He tells me to kick it towards him. I do it. "I just want to get out of here," I say. He looks confused, as if I'm telling him I'm from another planet. He stretches out his legs and puts his foot on the Mossberg, slides it back, the revolver still aimed at my chest. He takes one hand off the gun, goes for the walkie-talkie, his eyes never leaving mine. He fumbles the walkie, nearly drops it. Wendell's inching forward, and I can hear his fucking breath from here. The newbie starts to turn, but Wendell drives his shoulder into his stomach and plows him into the paper towels dispenser. I grab the newbie's arm, pry the revolver from his hand. Wendell's got him against the sink now, and the newbie's flailing, his hand finding Wendell's face, trying to force the big fellow off. Wendell lifts, and the newbie is off the ground a second before Wendell slams him down. The newbie's head cracks against the sink. His body slumps to the wet floor. And I can't tell if he's dead or just knocked out. Wendell's breathing in clumps, like he's about to have a heart attack. He drags his sleeve across his lips and just stares at the newbie. I want to tell him thanks, but the whole thing is just too crazy. I keep my eyes on Wendell until he finally turns. He's more shocked than me. "You okay?" I ask. Wendell nods. Okay, I repeat, trying to think. The newbie's body is still splayed on the floor. There's no way we'll be able to explain it to the boots. Wendell takes a second to catch his breath. "You have to get to my sister." "What?" "You have to help her escape. She's working in the deli." I didn't even know Wendell had family here. For a second, I think Wendell might be a part of Sharon's club, but he tells me he just learned about it, overheard someone's thoughts. He says Sharon would never let him in. He says, "I'm too fat." A voice comes through the newbie's walkie-talkie. The voice says there's no one on the roof. He's coming down. "Her name's Becky. She's at the deli. You have to get her. You have to." Wendell's eyes are as wide and pleading as I've ever seen. "Okay," I tell him. "We'll go get her." "No," he says. "Just you." The ding of the elevator. One set of boots. I grab the shotgun. Wendell picks up the revolver. "You know how to use that?" Wendell shakes his head no. "Just squeeze, and don't close your eyes." Wendell nods, but he's so out of breath, he can't hold the gun still. If someone walks in, I'm going to get shot from both directions. The stairwell door opens and shuts. The boots are moving, but not towards us. There's a muffled conversation. I decide to peek out, figuring they're going to come here eventually. The elevator doors are still open. "Follow me." "No." "God damn it, just do it." "I'm staying." Wendell thinks. "Just go." There's no time to argue. I take off, angle my body to slip in just before the doors close. My fingers mash the button. I hear the boots. The bathroom door clicks shut. "He's in there," one of them says. Their yelling is muffled. I can't tell if one of the voices is Wendell. The lower the elevator goes, the harder it is to hear. But the next 6 quick sounds are unmistakable. The elevator slows. It's about to hit the first floor. I shove the shotgun up under my jacket, angle it so it's not poking me in the chin. Then the door starts to open, and I immediately regret it. I should have kept it out. Who knows what's waiting? Luckily, there are people everywhere. Everyone jostling toward the front doors. I keep my head down and sink into the crowd. 2 of the boots are on walkie-talkies. I stay hidden behind a few Brightsiders. We're almost out the door when the voice over the walkie-talkie says they got the guy. Wendell's dead.